to Resorts World here in Las Vegas. It's time to introduce a new era of Pacific Tigers basketball. After going winless in conference play last year, a coaching change. Dave Smart takes over, former Texas Tech assistant coach, and he's just on the desk with a couple of his student athletes. Jazz Gardner to my left from Pasadena by way of Nevada, and Elias Ralph, a senior from Canada. Good to meet you all, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. And Dave, let's start with your plan for the Pacific Tigers. I know it's a big open-ended question, but what did you try to come in and hit the ground doing?
We just tried to bring in guys who, fit what we wanted from a culture standpoint. Guys who understood where they were and had high goals individually, but understood where they were right now and how much work it was going to take for them to get to where they wanted to go, which would lead us from a team standpoint and a culture standpoint, hopefully where we want to go. What are some of those core beliefs that you want to build around? Well, again, WCC is a great conference. So if you're going to come play in this conference, you gotta have aspirations to be professionals. You have to feel that you can get to that level at some point. For us, we had to bring in guys who, recognize that maybe they weren't pros right now and they understood how hard they had to work and the things they had to do to get there. And then, again, in this time with NIL and the portal, it makes the rebuild a little easier than it probably would have been 10 years ago. But you have to get the whole community involved. You have to get your boosters involved. You have to get your alumni involved. Our President Callahan's been unbelievable. He's a huge supporter of men's basketball and wants to make it a huge priority in terms of the university. And Adam's been incredible as athletic director. But I think our community, our boosters, our alumni, they all understand. We've got a decent roadmap in our own conference in what they've done at Gonzaga, and it's a community-driven situation, and we want to do something that's the same. Alumni, boosters, community. You're not going to get to a point where you're in the NCAA tournament every single year if you don't have all those things in place. A president who's fully behind it, an incredible university, somewhere where people want to go. Northern California is unbelievable. An AD who's fully behind the men's basketball program. And then the community, the boosters and the alumni to help get the NIL where it needs to go in order to compete. That's part of it. And then we have to do our part, bringing in the right type of people and having a work ethic and a toughness level that allows us to compete every single day, no matter who we're playing. I think I really like our guys. I think we've gotten better. Every day. I think our compete level's gotten better. I think our toughness level's gotten better, and I think we execute better. We'll see in the next 2 weeks when we get some scrimmages against other teams just where we're at. But I so far I'm pretty happy with the direction everything's going. I really like how the community's gotten behind us and the understanding of what the landscape of big-time Division I college men's basketball looks like now.
You do start with effectively a blank slate. Only one returning player from last year's roster. As we get to know your student athletes, it'd be great to hear a profile of each one of them. We can start with Elias next to you there. What are we looking for from him individually, and what does he bring to the Tigers?
Well, I just think he's going to be, he better be, as I've said to him many times, like a bit of a shock to the rest of the conference. I think not many people know who he is because he played in Victoria in U Sport, and I knew him. I've known him for 3 years. He came. My assistant coach was his head coach at Victoria. I think he can come in and make an impact in this conference, and I think he does a lot of things. He can play sort of the 2 to 4. He may even play, if we go real small, and hopefully we can get a rebound when we go that small. But he can do a lot of things that can help us become a lot better and give a lot of teams, a ton of matchup issues. We're going to have to do some things a little different than some other teams who are at the top of the league, just in terms of causing some matchup issues and putting them in a position where they have to play from a double team or from a help situation. And we're going to have to do some things, a little different than, say, a St. Mary's or a Gonzaga might have to do to get closeouts, but and he'll be a big part of that because he can be a matchup issue for a lot of people.
Elias, that sound mostly familiar? He's not breaking any news, putting you at the 4 or anything, is he?
Yeah, no. I've played at the 4 in Victoria. Played, from the 2 to 4, basically.
Yeah, what made it appealing to connect with Coach again and do so at Pacific for your senior year?
Obviously, just being from Canada, you hear about him and his teams and how they won so many national championships, and I really just wanted to come here to push myself and become the player that I know I can and reach my full potential.
Jazz, you're no stranger to these parts. You grew up in California. You played at Nevada. In fact, you were part of a team that advanced to the NCAA tournament last year. What are your takeaways from that experience that you think you can leverage to your advantage?
Just seeing that high level of play that takes part in March Madness. Just want to absorb any information or any gameplay tactics or anything I can take out of there like a sponge. Trying to
Jazz in the rim.
I just think Jazz wanted an opportunity to play, and I think he's got a ton of potential, and I think, he can be a bit of a wild card for us. I mean, if Jazz has a great year, I think we will have a great year. I think he can impact the game in a lot of ways. He's got great hands. He can be a rim protector and help us on the boards. Again, if taking advantage of the opportunity he's going to get, if he takes advantage of it and plays at a high level, I think we are a tough out every game. I mean, I think we've got a lot of guys around him who have played at a high level and have had some success at the highest level. And then I think, his potential is unbelievable. It's just a case of day in, day out, every day, getting there, being physical, competing every single day. And if he does, I think he can make a huge impact in our league.
Jazz, I'm sure that word potential is one you're used to hearing, right? A former 4-star recruit yourself. Take us through that process. What's it like to be, kind of in the prep basketball scene, have big aspirations, and already having made a couple of stops in your college career? Is this how you saw it going, and where would you like to take it next?
God works in mysterious ways, right? So, I don't really plan I don't know what he has planned for me, so I just take it how it is, and I try to make the best of each situation I have, you know what I mean?
What about this platform that you have at Pacific and the opportunity it might give you to showcase some of what Coach just said about you?
Yeah, I think I'll be able to do what I can over here, so I'm grateful for Coach for giving me the opportunity, and I'm going to make the best out of it.
I understand you're going to Hawaii early, everyone, right? Right out of the chute almost. The first weekend of the season, in fact, that Rainbow Classic?
Yes, we are.
Okay, then some SEC trips. How about this? At Arkansas, at Missouri, later at Colorado. Scheduled ambitiously.
Well, I mean, again, you always have to get some guarantee games. It helps us in other ways. Getting an opportunity to play at Arkansas, it's always fun to go into that kind of atmosphere. Cal's going to have them ready to go. They're going to be excited early in the year. Again, for us, it's getting thrown into the fire and figuring out what we do well and what we don't do well, and fixing it and getting ready for the WCC. The WCC is not going to be easy, so to go in without being thrown into the fire a few times would have been a mistake. So I think this is a great opportunity for us. I mean, getting on the road to do that is always a positive, no matter what happens in the situation we're in. So, I'm excited about it. I hope the guys are excited about it. But to schedule just trying to get games that you are not necessarily expected to win in our case, but in a place where no one expects you or everyone expects you to lose. I kind of feel like going into some situations where everybody expects us to lose and trying to, show that we're not just going to back down and give it away. We're gonna fight every possession, and we're gonna do some things. We're gonna go in with the intent of trying to win. Obviously, it's gonna be very difficult in those settings to win, but as long as we go in and compete at a level where we give ourselves a prayer of staying in the game and maybe giving ourselves a chance at the end of the game, it's gonna help us long term moving forward.
You certainly have a track record of racking up those wins. I mentioned you served as an assistant at Texas Tech last season, but 656 victories at Carleton University in Ontario over 18 seasons. Tell us about that background in Canadian basketball, about Carleton specifically, and kind of the experience that you draw from now at the head coach of the Pacific Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, it was very similar when I took over there. They had been to one national championship tournament in 40 years. You know, I was given the job by an AD who was dumb enough, smart enough, whatever you want to say, and to take a chance on me. Not many of the alumni wanted me. I didn't go to school there. I went to another school in the conference, you know, and he took a chance on me, didn't pay me a ton of money to come, but said, you know, if you win, you'll take care of it. He'll take care of me. We were about 500 that first year, and then I think after that, I don't think we ever lost more than 2 or 3 games a year in U Sport. But we did it very similar way. We brought in the right type of people. We brought in guys who wanted to be great, who were gonna bring the right culture, who were gonna, you know, stay committed to the program, be tough to play against every time they walked onto the floor. And then as we stayed with that core and added some more key pieces in terms of talent, we became a team that was a top 3 team every year, and we had a lot of success. We had a lot of good players. We had an unbelievable culture. We had sustainability, which was nice. We got to play, you know, a ton of high level D1 teams. We were able to, we beat Wisconsin the year they went to the Final Four. We beat most of the teams that we played. You know, we had probably a 500 record with the Big 12 teams, so I had a pretty good idea what they look like when I got there. And, you know, you can do it in a lot of different ways, and we're going to try to do a lot of the similar things here at Pacific that we did at Carleton, but it takes time. You know, the culture is the key. You know, the culture, the work ethic, the toughness, the how hard you play every single day, not every single game, every single practice, every single day you walk onto the floor. You know, that takes time, and we're trying to build the same type of culture where, you know, no one wants to play against us. I mean, that's the key, is to make sure that at the end of the day, no one wants to play against us. And you know, in the short term, that might not be a wins and loss thing as much as just not fun to play against that team because of how hard they play.
Elias, by way of the University of Victoria, to continue on the Canadian basketball theme, a lot of players have come south of the border and had a lot of success at American colleges. How much confidence does that give you that you can have a similar imprint on this program as it tries to rebuild?
Yeah, it gives me a lot of confidence. Just seeing guys like the Nemhards that coach has coached and seeing them have success in this league, it gives me a lot of confidence, and I think I can be the next one.
Yeah. Jazz, what about culture building? You take a whole bunch of new teammates and you put them in the gym and say, figure it out, make it happen quickly. Like, what type of off-the-court activities are you doing to make sure you know the guy next to you and can trust him?
I mean, I already have a lot of my teammates in classes together, so we like to go out to eat sometimes. Sometimes just plain old studying will get it done. I mean, I already have a lot of experience with this type of thing. My senior year of high school, I joined a whole new team, so we had to make it work, and we spent a lot of time in class, out of class together, just to make sure we have the right team chemistry.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how did you make that prep team work? Can you draw from that experience here?
Just believing in each other, and I guess being unselfish.
I want to read a quotation from Mick Cronin. Not sure how you connect with Mick, but this was presented to me about Dave Smart, and the UCLA head coach says that Dave is one of the best basketball coaches in the world. His experience with FIBA and his success at Carleton University gave him a diverse and unique background. I have the utmost respect for Dave and his teaching of the game. How does that rest with you? How do you react to a statement like that?
I mean, obviously, it makes you feel good when someone who is that successful and is that committed to our profession and does such a good job says something like that. Mick and I have known each other for a long time. We played them when he was at Murray State. Then we played them all the time when he was at Cincinnati. I probably played them 7 or 8 times in his time at Cincinnati. So we've connected, we've gotten along. I mean, Mick's a character. He's always fun to talk to. His basketball mind is unbelievable, especially, you know, we think I mean, we're different personalities, but when it comes to a basketball perspective, our thoughts are very similar. Like the toughness expectations, the defensive focus, the want and ability for our teams to grind it out and find ways. I mean, we had some real battles with Carleton and Cincinnati. I mean, his teams were something to every year. I used to joke with my assistants when we'd sit in the stands before we played an exhibition at Cincinnati. It's like, why are we doing this again? Like, look at these guys, and he just brought. And it's the same with his UCLA teams that have had success. You know, they're exactly what I talked about. They're really hard to play against, and players don't like playing against them, and that's what we're trying to bring, and that's what we had at Carleton, and I think that's what we're moving toward here at Pacific, and I think we'll get there.
The Bruins have had some amazing moments against the Zags, and that's where we're heading next at WCC Men's Basketball Media Day. Dave, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Pacific. Jazz and Elias wish you the best on and off the court this season. Thanks for your personality and your conversation. Yeah.